Then what really happened and really hit at the end of the 80s, Star Trek, The Next Generation.
Yeah.
And so now we finally move into a weekly return to Star Trek and a redesign of the Enterprise, casting it forward in time, another 75 years or so. And again, Andy Probert, who did the same design from the original refit Enterprise from the movies, did the design of the Enterprise D. We actually skipped, A, B, C, and then we got to the D.
Right, so that they could go do prequels if they needed to.
Exactly. And again, continued this tradition of the saucer and this very smooth, curvy, contoury shape to it.
It's because it's a more peaceful time.
It's a more peaceful time.
And
Much larger vessel, over 1,000 people on, city in space kind of idea. A much flatter design. It was also moved towards the original Enterprise has a lot of height to it.
It was tall.
It's tall. And we start to see this idea of these capital ships being squashed and becoming much flatter starting in the late 80s. And the tradition that really carries through to today, through Star Trek in particular.
Which feels aerodynamic in a place it doesn't need to be, but it does still look cool.
But I think it speaks, I always liked this idea of these smooth, elegant, complex curvature shapes in Star Trek because I thought it spoke to a society that designs ships not just to function well, but to look beautiful, that aesthetic is actually as important as functionality, or at least
it makes sense in their society because
an ideal society, one where it's really living in a virtual paradise largely.
Right.
Why not make your day-to-day technology also pleasurable?
Right. Very beautiful.
I like to think that Starfleet design actually came, from a lineage that you can trace back to Johnny Ives and Apple.
Fair enough. Just because. That's Robert Hurt, by the way. Robert Hurt, pro-Apple for many years. You were in the ground floor of Apple, weren't you?
The entire bridge of the Enterprise D was in giant iPads.
Right, it is all
like
iPads.
These digital touch screens, right? So it's a...
let me remind people, by the way, it's at AstroRob on Twitter and astronomyviz, VIZ.wordpress or on WordPress, and then astropics.cool for real space pictures. Astropics.cool, P-I-X.
Yep.
Okay, so we're Next Generation, which I always called Next Trek. But other people call TNG now.
TNG, yeah, you got to get the original series is TOS, the original series. The animated series that was in the 70s, actually.
Right.
I didn't touch on that, but there was an animated. That's TAS.
Right, because it was animated.
Right. TNG, right. Yep. And then, of course, coming up after TNG was...
DS9.
Deep Space Nine,
Deep Space Nine.
So, we really like those three-letter acronyms for our Star Trek.
Sure. And Next Trek, which I will call until I die, because it was the Next Trek, that's what we called it in my family, and so we would watch it every Sunday night. We would like The Power of the Sun, and we were all drawn to the television. And DS9 was harder for me because they never left anywhere.
Well, they did eventually. They got their beautiful little Defiant.
That's it, escort. The Defiant. That little fist of a spaceship.
Yeah.
That went out and punched people in the face.
Yep.
So.
But TNG is responsible, and the extended, from TNG to DS9 to Voyager. One of the things that I have to comment there is one of the things it brought was simply, and now I switched to the visual aids I brought, which sadly those listening cannot actually see.
Oh, Andy's going to take pictures, but you don't have to take them down.
We're
not live, but I appreciate it.
The sheer volume of ship design that occurred because of the Star Trek series is almost unspeakable. I hold before Jackie and Andy a collection of numbered magazines, up to 55 currently. This is the Eagle Moss Starship collection. Every fortnight, if you're British, every fortnight.
Every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks.
You get a magazine?
And a model of that ship. So I have been subscribed to
It's a Star Trek.
It's a Star Trek model ship collecting monthly
magazine monthly that comes twice a month.
Well, actually, once a month I get two.
Once a month you get two. And how long have you been getting these?
I signed up at the Star Trek Vegas convention about 2.5 years ago.
Okay. So not the last 30 years ago.
My dining room table. This is where my dorkdom really comes out. I'm admitting.
Can I have one copy? Hey, just to hold. Just take an entire stack of them?
Take a stack, right?
Hello, America. Rangers. We are deep in the dork forest right now, and it is a beautiful thing. Eagle Moss Collections presents Star Trek, the official Starships collection. And this is a Vulcan Dakir type. Dakir?
Cruiser, yes. That was actually Star Trek Enterprise when they showed us some of the beautiful, lovely Vulcan designs.
The art on this is amazing.